Good morning, science lovers, or good afternoon if it's sixth period. We're going to be working on some flashcards today, but of course we've got to make them fancy because I don't do just ordinary flashcards. Hopefully you've got in your hands 18 of these 3x5 cards. Everybody needs to have a stapler nearby and some markers. We'll use these markers a little bit later. Okay, with your flashcards, with your 3x5 cards, I need you to take two of them and get the two sides with lines on them and put them face to face. So blank here, lines on the inside. Tap them together and just staple them 2 times. Once at the top. You're going to repeat that so that you have 9 packets of cards that are all lines on the inside, blanks on the outside. So you keep going, but I think that's all that I'll need for right now. Put the stapler aside. Get your markers in here. We're going to make some flashcards that have a sketch of an organ on this side, and over here we're going to have the name of it. So let's go ahead and do the first organ of digestion. I'm going to make it nice and bold. I'm going to make my handwriting neat. And you'll see on the PowerPoint I also put a little clue here as to which organ I'm on. This is the first organ of digestion. On the other side, we're going to have a sketch of the organ. It does not have to be gorgeous, so it doesn't need to be too pretty. Here's my great big mouth with teeth. And I'm going to put a tongue there that's in charge of moving food around. And of course, out the back, I have a tube that's heading down to the next organ. So it does not have to be gorgeous, it just has to be accurate. So there's my mouth. And when I'm all done at the end of class today, the inside is going to be for telling you whether it's an organ for digesting, an organ for absorbing, or an organ for eliminating, way at the bottom, way at the end. So there's my first one. I'll put that aside. Let's start on the second one. I'll switch colors just to make it interesting. My second organ of digestion is the esophagus. And the way I remember to spell it is esophagus. And that's the second organ. Esophagus is the second organ. Now for this one card, I'm going to do something special on the back. The esophagus is a long skinny tube. So instead of doing it this way, just for fun, I'm going to do it this way. And remember, in the esophagus, there's really not much going on except for traveling down to the stomach. It's got that peristalsis action. So I'm going to draw an esophagus with wiggly lines to remind myself that peristalsis happens here. So just wiggly lines that shows that smushing. And when I'm all done, this is where the jigsaw puzzle action comes in. If I'm studying, this is my first organ of digestion. And, let me do it this way, it connects, the mouth connects with the esophagus. The next organ down, let me bring this all the way to the edge, the next organ down would be the stomach. So when you're all done, this whole set of flashcards will be a study guide that you can lay out like this, and then when you're all done and you think, okay, I believe I have it right, when you flip it over, yay, organ number 1. When I flip it over, there's organ number 2. Flip it over, yes, got it right. Flip it over, yay, it's the 4th one. When all of your cards are finished, that's when we go back and we put notes on the inside as to what's actually going on. Oops, I don't have that one filled out. What's actually going on in that organ. So I'm going to let you get started. My PowerPoint has all the sketches drawn exactly as they're supposed to be. So follow along. Don't take too much time on the sketches. They just have to be good enough to show you what's what. All right, let's get started.